Volumes, this is a new company that both Matt and I are learning about.
Mhm.
Essentially, what they do is they do infrastructure as code for data and storage. Could they apply
Mhm.
it to other stuff? Yes, they absolutely could. But regardless of whether you're on-prem, hybrid multi-cloud, Azure, GCP, essentially being able to say, hey, give my production database 1 terabyte with a million IOPS, 350 millisecond latency, and
Yep.
resilience across two AZs.
Yep.
And then the service goes boom, and it goes and it in an intelligent way figures it out. I put this under the too good to be true category, where I want to hear
Yeah.
something that is that big. My first thought is, okay, why didn't somebody do this before?
Yeah.
And then the second question is, okay, prove it. Tell me somebody other than you who actually believes this as well. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes as industry analysts, we're coming in and we're some of the first people, but anyways, I'm super impressed, and also impressed that the company got $20 million
That's
to
right.
be able to invest in what they need to do, and that's a very healthy round A from my point of view. Now, new CEO here, Amir Feintook, is not new to us.
Hmm.
He did, 3 years at Global Foundries, where he was a senior vice president and GM of compute, wired infrastructure, silicon photonics.
Hmm.
4 years at Intel, 3 years at Qualcomm. He was president of Qualcomm Atheros. But anyways, big company lineage doing the
Hmm.
startups. And you might
Yeah.
say, well, okay, big company guy doing start. Well, he was a venture partner at Patango. He's a big time investor in seed companies. So he is no stranger. He's almost it's almost the perfect combination to scale this thing. But I'm interested in diving in, Matt, and quite frankly, not necessarily me diving in. I'm really interested for you to dive in.
Yeah, I really am. We had the a couple of conversations with them, and what they tell us and how they describe their solution is super interesting, right? Creating a direct Linux path between media and apps, removing the control plane from the movement of data from source to the application, and that's what delivers the improved latency story that they can tell. And the declarative interface, where in really just a point and click, here's my resiliency, here
Yeah,
are my requirements around performance. It really democratizes high performance storage and data management for the masses. I love the story. To what you said, they're new. What I read and seem to understand is that they're not as well known in the U.S. They're an Israeli-based company, and this is where this is going to help them kind of kickstart their efforts in the U.S. So the next few quarters will be fun to watch with them, but certainly a promising story.
yeah. I'm just always amazed at the data and storage space. And again, this isn't a storage company,
Yeah,
but it certainly is, bringing composability to storage and data. I'm amazed at all the high flyers that just literally routinely come out every 2 or 3 years. It's
I know.
it's it's super fun. Um,
One other
yeah,
thing on these guys, Pat, I think is interesting because you're right. I mean, sometimes it's hard to. Stories are interesting, right? And everybody can tell a compelling story. They got 20 million bucks. That's a lot of money for Series A. That's a lot of money for Series A. And I think a lot of it comes too from you talk about Amira, but that whole team, it is a team of it's kind of like a who's who within the storage industry that is he's assembled. So, they have really good bloodlines running through that company. I think that's probably part of what helped the investment as well.
for sure. Yeah, Amir is world class, and some of the folks that he's put on the development team. By the way, the co-founder is a rock star as well. And my final thought here is, I look at the technology, I look at the methods. Doesn't it seem like they could do this for compute too?
Oh yeah,
Maybe. I mean, I don't want to, get all crazy here, but
yeah.
security, compute, storage, it kind of seems like they could extend that, right? Or am I just making stuff up here, Matt?
Composable infrastructure, right? That's what it is, and that applies, across networking, compute, and storage, without a doubt. I mean, there are elements. There are elements of that in what they do. It's we were talking the other day about, the lines between compute, storage, and networking. They're all blurring, and they're all kind of, they're so intertwined, especially compute and storage. This is what I think this is what I think makes this so compelling, is that you don't have to be a storage specialist or a compute specialist or a data specialist, quite frankly, um, to stand this solution up as they've demoed it to us. So